Hello, I'm going to share with you today the Deck Toys game that I created for the novel Because of Winn-Dixie. So this game could be used as a formative assessment for the students when you were finished reading it. The very first thing that students are going to do when they start the game is to click on Start, which will take them the very first signpost, and it explains a little bit of the background in the game where Winn-Dixie and Opal, who are two characters in the story, need their students' help. So it gives them a little background saying he ran away from home. They need to find all 6 keys by answering questions. And then it also gives them the direction of starting at the produce section for their next set of directions. So they would head down here with the produce section is the very first part of the book where Winn-Dixie and Opal meet. And so each one of the categories has something to do with a character or a place that it was important to the story. So for this one, they will go through and just put their favorite part of the book, their something they're still wondering about, and then they take a quick poll with a thumbs up or thumbs down whether or not they would recommend the book. So it gives the directions right down here at the bottom, telling them how to type their answer, how to submit it, and then also the next slide they go to, they provide 2 examples and 2 non-examples of the vocabulary term produce, which they will already be familiar with. And then you'll notice that each one of the activities or slides has a learning target at the bottom that directly correlates to the Common Core state standards for ELA in 3rd grade. So the first one, I can identify the meaning of new vocabulary words. So after they head out of the produce section, it just goes another signpost with the directions and explains to them again that just a little bit of the background information for the storyline of the game, that there's 6 keys all over the town and that they must find them and get Winn-Dixie, who is a dog, before the party at Gloria Dump's house ends, which is also another scene in the book. So the directions for the students are that they're to visit locations and complete the activities, and then they earn keys where then they end up at the final location, which is Gloria Dump's house, and just make sure that they hurry because everyone's waiting, just to make it a little bit more competitive and fun for the students. So after they click on the directions, they have the option to start at any of the 3 locations. So the Block Memorial Library, Gertrude's Pet Store, or Opal's house, which are all locations that also occur in the story. So for each location, there are different activities that the students will complete. This, for example, was a multiple choice question where they would click the correct answer. You'll notice again the learning target that correlates to the standard that the students will be meeting, and also directions for how they would complete it. This one is a written response. It also has a lock on this question. So they will tell us a little bit about the question, but they also have to answer a hint in order to even unlock this question in the first place. And then there is a game of memory that the students will look at that has to do with the different vocabulary words that they have been exposed to during the reading of the story. So for each one, And then it said another learning target. You can identify the meaning of the words. And also there is paw prints that were added to the background, and this red collar because that is a significant part of the story. When we head to the pet store part of the game, excuse me. So it just is continuing to encourage the students, saying to keep looking. And it also notifies the students that they will receive a key once they answer the question correctly in this section. And so here is where they will earn their key after they answer the question that has to do with this character. Their learning target is to tell about how this certain character affects the story or the plot. And then their question that they have to answer is a multiple choice question. So once they get that correct, then they will earn a key that will help unlock the final question and help them find Winn-Dixie. So here is my second study set that I have, and again with those vocabulary words, and the students will match the word to the definitions. And they also have a second written response that has just a cute little GIF attached to it that corresponds with the question and directions for how they would complete it. The third option for where they could start, the block memorial, has just a video clip on there with the two characters when they first meet each other, and this is also the location that it describes on the slide activity with the Block Memorial Library. So again, with the words, just more encouragement, telling them what to do in each step, watch the clip, and then answer the question. So then they would go down here. There is a lock on this one, and where they would answer the name of the candy that Miss Franny's great-grandfather created. They would type that in, and then they would be able to move on to the next step in the activity. There is also a fill in the blank, a drag and drop activity for this slide. So when they move down here, they would end up clicking on the target, and then each word would be moved over so that they can correctly match each blank spot to where the word belongs. The final activity at this location would be another written response where they would be using the story or their knowledge of the story to answer a question that has to do with, the story that they're reading. And then the final part that they would end up going for the last is labeled at end. And then it also, it also takes them to several different slides. So the directions are here at the bottom. It tells them, you made it in time, use the keys. And so on here is an image of a key. There's 6 different keys that correlate to different settings in the story or different characters, and each one is a different color. So once they enter all of the keys that they earned from answering all the questions correctly, it would take them to an image of Winn-Dixie and Opal, and it also lets them know, congratulations, you found all 6 keys and helped. And there's also a Gauntlet slide app on there. So it would award 1,000 points to the first 5 students who were able to correctly complete all the activities and questions. And there's also just a Captain America GIF that was put in as just a little fun congratulations for completing the activities. So I believe for this project that I earned all 30 of the points and achieved all of the different sections that would make that a grade of an A. There are 2 study sets, and there are also over 6 different learning tasks for this one deck game. There are also several different types of multimedia. There are clips from the actual movie that correlate to the questions. There are images that I have uploaded. There are GIFs that have been embedded in slides that match the activities as well. I also have the breakout box strategy with the 6 achievement keys, their treasure keys that they need to earn. And the navigation is definitely clear and explicit and something that 3rd graders would be able to follow. As far as the theme goes, I think it definitely has an interesting storyline that would encourage the students to keep playing. And it's also directly relates to the story, so they're already familiar with the characters and some of the settings that they will be seeing. Learner choice, there is multiple different pathways that they can take, and it is non-linear in the setup. The learning goals at the bottom of each activity correlate to a Common Core state standard, each one of them. So in conclusion, that is why I believe that I have earned a grade of A and 30 points. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the game.